Hello and good morning everyone, and thank you for joining our Adobe webinar today. So I'm joined here by Steve Newberry from Adobe and also Luke Kiernan from Bytes.
Thank you, Amy, and welcome everyone to this morning's presentation, where we're going to be looking fairly closely at Adobe Acrobat DC, the new DC, and its integrations with Microsoft Office and Microsoft technologies in general. So without further ado, just introduce the new document cloud in the context of our other two cloud offerings from Adobe, the Marketing Cloud, which covers our content management solutions and web analytics offerings, the Creative Cloud, which has been around now for nearly 2.5 years, which is all of our creative applications and a series of cloud-based services around those. And just recently we announced the Adobe Document Cloud. And the Document Cloud is effectively centered around a brand new version of Acrobat, Acrobat DC. So we've got this brand new, completely reimagined version of Acrobat, a new user interface that's a lot more intuitive and easy to navigate and find your way around. Also, we've integrated our e-sign services. They were formerly known as EchoSign and sold separately from Acrobat. Now we've integrated that into the process, so you can actually get documents signed directly from your desktop application, whether it be Acrobat or indeed Microsoft Word and PowerPoint as well. We've also got a series of new connected mobile apps, including a brand new Acrobat Mobile, and I'll show you a bit of that later on, which allows you to work with your documents while you're on the go. And the other thing with it is it also gives you the ability, along with the cloud-based services, to do things like create PDF or export from PDF, edit PDF, and other things while you're on your mobile device, whether that be an iPad or Android device. And of course, we've increased and improved our integration with Microsoft Office and SharePoint, which is obviously the topic of today's conversation. So, working with Microsoft Office Online, Microsoft Office, we support Office 2010 through to the current 365 offering, and in the Windows environment, you can do a lot of things directly from the ribbon in your Office application. So Acrobat integrates into the ribbon, task ribbon in Microsoft Office to allow you to perform PDF creation and other tasks directly from there. We also allow you to add protections, so you can secure PDFs as you create them from your Office applications, and you can also use the Acrobat ribbon in Word, Excel or PowerPoint to execute many steps at once. So you can actually send documents directly from Word to PDF and then into an email, or send directly for review and approvals. Also, with Acrobat Pro, you can also perform actions directly inside Acrobat as well from the Microsoft ribbon bar. As I mentioned briefly earlier, we can request signatures from others directly from Word, PowerPoint in Office 365. That's actually a nice little plug-in app that lets you do that directly from inside the application. And we also integrate our new send and track capability directly into Microsoft Outlook. That allows you to send larger files by way of a link as opposed to attachments, and also tracks those documents so that you can see when they've been downloaded by the recipient. Additional integrations, we've improved the Save As command in Microsoft Word for the Mac, which now allows you to create not just high-quality PDFs, but also with interactive links to work, which is really nice and been asked for a while. We also give you the ability to turn existing PDF documents into fully editable Word, Excel or PowerPoint files, and we offer that as a service as well, so you can do that from your mobile device or from the web browser, as well as the desktop application. We've also optimized the user interface to work with Windows 8.1 touch-enabled devices such as the Surface and Surface Pro. So the application's interface adapts itself to make it more touch-friendly on those devices, and it works really well. And we can also capture web pages as PDF directly from Microsoft's Internet Explorer, as well as other web browsers. In terms of our integration with SharePoint, we can connect Acrobat to any SharePoint document library or repository and allow people to open directly from within Acrobat PDF files, edit it, save it back into the repository. It supports the check-in, check-out workflows associated with SharePoint and facilitates the entry of document properties, metadata, versioning information, etc., if that's enabled and required. Obviously, turn any repository file into a PDF and save it, or any PDF file and create a PDF file and email it directly from the SharePoint repository. We also allow you to use the combine document feature as well to combine multiple files into a single PDF from the repository. And we also allow you to automate processes by hosting shared document reviews or data collection for forms on a SharePoint server as well. So you can actually integrate those workflows into a SharePoint environment. Okay, this is the better bit because I'll get to show you some of this stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop across to my Windows desktop, just like so. And to begin with, I'll fire up Acrobat itself. The first thing we'll notice is that Acrobat opens up to a new home page as opposed to a splash screen and an empty document workspace. And this home screen basically allows you to find all your storage and files in one place. And what we also do is keep track of all the documents, PDF documents, etc., that you've opened on your system in a recent files list. And this recent files list, if a mobile link is turned on, there's a little button down the bottom here to turn on, and you're signed in with your Adobe ID, it also propagates that list across your various devices. So when you open up on your iPad or your phone, you'll see that same list of documents, and the documents will also open at the last point that they were viewed. Here's where we can actually connect up to SharePoint, and we can add additional SharePoint shares. I'll show you a bit more of the SharePoint integration as we go through this, but at this point, this is where you add your account. All you need to do is put in the SharePoint shares URL and sign in with your usual credentials, and connect it up for you so you can access the share directly from your home screen here. Also, obviously, access your computer, and it also keeps a list of recent locations on your computer so you can quickly get back to a given place as quickly as possible. And also a connection to your document cloud storage should you use that. And that will allow you to go in and see all the documents you've got in the Adobe Document Cloud as opposed to other locations. So I'm just going to pop back to the recent files list here and take a quick look at this document here. This lets us see the user interface, the new user interface in Acrobat DC, that's a lot cleaner and slicker than it used to be in previous versions. You can collapse the panels at the side, give your document more space if you wish, and you can also access all the tools that you use most frequently from this right-hand panel here. This right-hand panel is completely configurable, so you can add or remove tools from this panel as you wish. And we can also, if we go across to our Tools tab here, we can see all of the tools exposed in this particular location, and it allows us to add those tools to the list, for example. So we can drag a new tool in there for redaction purposes. We can also remove tools from the list, and we can reorder the items in that list as well. So customize the user interface to just expose the tools that you use on a regular basis. Another interesting thing is quite often you can't think where a particular tool is and spend a lot of time hunting around through menus and stuff to locate the tool they want. In the view interface, all you need to do is start typing the words of the tool you think you might want to use, and Acrobat then shows you all tools that fit that particular search criteria. In this particular case, I perhaps wanted to open the print production panel. I can do that very quickly and easy from there. So nice, quick, easy approach to working with tools in Acrobat. I think that's probably enough about the user interface pieces. Unfortunately, the Citrix webinar panel is hiding part of my sheet. There we go. I've moved it. So we can work very quickly with documents very easily in here. I'll just take an opportunity for a moment to navigate through this document to show you that capability whereby the iPad can access similar documents. So I'll just work my way through this particular document here. I'm just going to shut it down for a moment. You notice it's moved. The market research file has moved to the top of the list there. I'm just going to fire up my iPad and bear with me for a second while I reshuffle myself. Fire up my iPad and launch Acrobat Mobile on here. And we see that the Beehive supplies market research PDF has moved to the top of the pile. And when I open that document, it's showing exactly the same page as the one we left it on in the desktop version of Acrobat. Okay, I think that's enough of Acrobat features per se, but what I'd like to do now is look at some of that functionality that I talked to around the integrations with the Microsoft Office tools. So when we come to Microsoft Word, I'm just going to open up another version of that document in Word format from my desktop in Word. One of the first things we'll notice is that there's a ribbon bar and task ribbon for Acrobat actually built into Microsoft Office by virtue of Acrobat being installed on this particular desktop. And as I said, you've got the ability here to quickly create a new PDF directly from this document. You can also set the preferences or job options for your PDF as well within here. And as I mentioned, you can create and attach directly to email. You can actually perform a mail merge. If it's a mail merge document, you can create mail merge PDFs directly from here as well. Create send for shared commenting. And another feature is you can actually pull the comments back out of a PDF and into your Word document from here. And the other thing I mentioned was this create PDF and run action. And what this allows you to do is actually generate a PDF and then perform one of the guide actions that you've either created for yourself or installed from the base of a copy of Acrobat to allow you to perform additional steps inside of Acrobat itself and be guided through those processes so you don't have to remember every step. It will take you through and allow you to do that. So in fact, let's just do archive here. So I'm just going to save this to my desktop and give it an identifier in there. Save this out. Oh, this is the other point when I mentioned about restricting editing on the document. If you check this box here, you can then perform the set the permissions for this particular document, whether you want it to be opened with a passport or whether password, or whether you just want to restrict what people are allowed to do with the document, whether they're allowed to print it, whether they're allowed to make changes to it, whether they can copy text images or not, and so on and so forth. So again, a nice, slick, and easy way of doing it without having to go into Acrobat and do it separately. I'm not going to do that this time, so I'll save this document. And the Acrobat PDF is working its way through that particular document. Whirring away merrily. Windows on the go slow this morning. There we go. It's working its way through now, doing the job. Identify any bookmark type information, whether there's any hyperlinks in this document, and converting those all to PDF. And once it's done this task, it'll open up Acrobat and start working through that action that I asked it to do from Word. So I can come here and I can say start, and it will tell me to fill in the document information and description for this document. I won't bother, I'll just say OK. It will take me through to the next step where it goes through and pre-flights this document to check and convert it to a PDF file and then prompt me to save the document in a particular location. So I haven't had to go down and hunt through all those different settings or menu choices in Acrobat. It's just taking me through the entire process. And here we go, and there we go. And it's also appended a A1B for the PDF conversion onto that file as well, and I can just literally drop that straight down onto my desktop. Job done. And we know now that this is a document that complies and has been opened read-only to prevent modification. So obviously, if the file has been authenticated in any way, it will break its PDF compliance. So very quick and easy to create documents to specific criteria directly from your Word environment. I'm just going to close one down, and we'll now see we've got the new PDF in the top of my recent files list, which is very nice too. So I'm just going to pop back to Word now and show you how we can actually come straight out of Word and request the document to be signed using our e-sign services, which are also, as I said, offered as part of an Acrobat DC or Document Cloud description. And it's a little bit counterintuitive in some ways because we have to insert a new app, and you find the Adobe application or the EchoSign eSign application in the Microsoft Store, and just search for Adobe, and then you can install it and you add it to your document cloud eSign services is added to your Windows environment here on My Apps. And when we launch this, it takes into a little app on the side which allows us to then initiate that send for signature workflow directly from inside of Microsoft Word. And looks like everything's on the go this morning, so we won't bother going into too much of this one. And in here we can put the details that we want into the panel, the emails of the recipient, document name, the message, etc. And when we send this, it then initiates the Adobe eSign service to take that document through the process. We've got additional information on our website, and we have run a number of seminars in the past around eSign services, so again I won't dive into that in depth during the course of this presentation. Okay, so that's the integration with Microsoft Word. Very similar integrations with PowerPoint and Excel. One of the nice things about Excel is that it also allows you a bit more control over how you create those PDFs than would particularly be available just using the Microsoft tool. Let me just find my copy of Excel and give you a couple of looks at this. And I think we've got them here. I can open up. So we've got a document, an Excel document here, and when we go to the Acrobat bar here, we'll notice that we've got create PDF, preferences the same, attached to emails, shared, commenting, etc. in the right action piece. One of the nice things here is when you do the create PDF, I'm just going to make a selection of this spreadsheet as opposed to the whole thing, because quite often when you want to share a spreadsheet with someone, you only want to share a particular part of it that you want them to see. So in here we can create PDF now, and we can do the entire workbook, just a selection or specific sheets you can add in there as well. I'm just going to say the selection and say convert to PDF. And again, we've got a strict editing option if we want to. We won't. And save. So now it goes off, creates that PDF, and it creates a PDF just of the part of the document that I actually had selected. I actually misselected one of those, the logo as well, but just the part you want. Now the other thing you can do with a PDF is actually, when you create it from Word, you can actually attach the original document as an attachment, just like an email attachment, to the PDF document itself, so it travels with it. So you can give a readable document directly in PDF and attach the original edited file to the back end of that PDF. Okay, what I'm also going to do is now open up Outlook, and hopefully there's no strange emails arrived since I last fired it up. It shouldn't be. Okay, and in here, again, we get an Adobe PDF ribbon at the top here, which allows us to convert messages and folders to PDF and change the conversion settings. We can also set up automatic archival of emails, so you can actually convert documents to PDF as they arrive and append them to an existing PDF archive, which is really useful for a lot of people who need to keep lots of emails for a very long time. What we can also do is right-click on any message, and we can convert that message alone straight to a PDF, or we can append it to an existing PDF manually. The other thing I mentioned was the facility to use our send and track technology from within Microsoft Outlook. And what happens is, when you click on create a new email and then attach a file, we'll just find any file from there. It doesn't have to be a PDF, it can be any file format we like. So just click on one of these and insert. We get another prompt to say, would you like to use Adobe Send and Track? And what happens if you choose to use Send Track is, it will load that attachment into the document cloud and provide you with a link for that email to paste into your document. There we go. With the link the recipient can click on. The nice thing about this is, once you send this document, you can track its progress. So when it arrives and the recipient reads and downloads it, you can see that they've actually had the file and received it and seen it. It's really, really nice. Okay, just pop that away and please Outlook for a moment. Right. I think I mentioned that we do conversions from integrate fully with Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. We also integrate with both Project and Visio as well to allow you to create PDFs directly from those applications. In addition to the three I mentioned earlier. Okay, what I'd like to do now is look at some of the other ways that we can work with this. So I said we could use the Save As command from Mac. I don't think that really needs to be demonstrated. But turning existing PDFs back into a usable Word document or a PowerPoint presentation or whatever is pretty powerful stuff. So here we've got a PowerPoint presentation created for this particular organisation, and we can, of course, use the Edit PDF capability built into Acrobat to allow us to do minor edits, both of text and of images, quickly and easily from within Acrobat itself. But quite often, there's a need or requirement to create or use the richer features, if you like, that are available to you in the Microsoft Office applications themselves. So what we can do is click on Export PDF and take the document that I've already got and ask me what format I would like to convert that to. We've got Microsoft Word with spreadsheet formats, Excel and XML spreadsheets, PowerPoint, and then image formats, HTML web page, and additional formats such as text and PostScript, for example. We want to go to Microsoft PowerPoint and export this document into PowerPoint. Again, save it down to my desktop. Save. And it will go through, it will analyse this document, and what it will also do is it will look for things like common repeating objects that are typical of master pages and generate master pages for us, or master slides, slide masters. And in Word, it will also look for things like repeating objects at the top and bottom of the page and convert those into their respective header and footer formats as well. Going through that process at the moment of identifying those various elements of the document. As is often the case, it takes 3 times longer to do anything in the demonstration in front of customers than it does any other time. But we'll bear with it for the moment. I'd like to see the there we go, off it goes. And that's fired up PowerPoint on here, and these documents are now a fully editable PowerPoint format. And if we go across and look at our Q menu and look at the slide masters, we'll also see that it's generated a series of slide masters based on the content of that PDF file that we presented to it. So really quick and easy to convert into a fully editable version of the document, and all the components are again editable components. So the images have come over as images, the text as text, the lists are actually lists, and so on and so forth. So it all works exactly as it's expected to in the resultant file, or in a native file, should I say. Right, I'm just going to pop that one away for a moment. Save it. And I mentioned about the web interface as well, and that's quite nice actually in a number of ways. So if we just pop into Internet Explorer, well, this is the web interface to both the PDF services and the e-sign services, and we've got our Manage Files option here, which allows us to see our document cloud and our recent files, etc., directly from the web. So you don't even need Acrobat or one of the mobile tools to be able to access your content and files, or to perform tasks like export PDF, create PDF, combine files, send and track, and organise pages. it can all be done directly from the web browser as well. But in the meantime, what I wanted to do, take a look at the two little tools that we've got here. And the first one is just this ability to convert a web page to PDF. You can add that web page to an existing PDF. Print web page is quite a nice one, because what it does is it converts the document to a PDF temporarily and prints it, and then drops back to the browser and discards the temporary file. And you can also convert the web page and email it to someone else as well. In terms of select, this allows you basically to select the content of that page that you want to use to create the PDF as well. So very easy to work with this capability in the browser. And it'll make a PDF for that particular document. Just go through. It will also navigate any of the links and resolve those and into web links in the resultant PDF, and any interactive content, video or stuff and buttons will be transferred into the PDF as well. So we can launch straight into the menu structure associated with that PDF that we've just created from Internet Explorer, just as if it was on the web. And you get a little W in your finger when it's going to go out to a web page, or we can say append to the document, which means that it will create another PDF and append it to this document for that web link. So yeah, very slick integration there with Internet Explorer, and just that print web page capability is actually really quite good. So yeah, that does that nicely. Right, what we'd like to do now is take a look at that integration with Microsoft SharePoint. So I'm just going to put this document away for a moment and navigate to a document on my SharePoint share. And hopefully this won't ask me to go through all the rigmarole of signing in with my single sign-on credentials and everything. Nope, it's all worked nicely. And I'm just going to navigate down to a small file that I've got on here. So I was having to wait for things to download all morning. I'm just going to open this demo outline file. Now, as I say, this is on my SharePoint share, and I'm just going to double-click. It's actually my OneDrive for Business account, actually. And immediately it pops a dialog to tell me that I can check out and open this document for editing, or I can just open it read-only from the server. What I'm going to do is say check out and open. I want to do that. It performs the server operations and downloads the file from the SharePoint share and opens it up, ready for me to work with directly inside of Acrobat. When it comes to putting it away again, we've got a separate menu now that offers SharePoint Office 365 server options, and you've got the ability to check in, discard the checkout altogether, so just basically turn it back into read-only and discard any changes, and you can also prepare document properties from here and set things like versioning information if that's required on your server. In this case, I think it's just going to ask me to add a title, and that's it for this particular document. And I can add that information if I wanted to, just there, before I check it back into the SharePoint share. So OK to that, and then say check in. Whoops. Then check that document back in. And now it's asking me to put the version comments in because this particular server wants me to do that. And I can say OK to that, which I'm not going to fill in. And that's it, job done and finished with. And there we go. That was the integration with SharePoint is just so tidy and slick. It works really nicely and doesn't cause us too many problems at all. Right. Well, I think that pretty much covers the stuff I want to work on in this particular session. What I'm going to do is hand back to Luke momentarily, and we can then he can go through some of the licensing stuff, and then we'll take questions. So thanks very much for listening to me, and it's all yours, Luke.
Thanks, Steve. Hi guys. So literally, I'm just going to run quickly through the licensing and the pricing for Acrobat, and then a little bit of an update on the Creative Cloud side of things. So as Steve has mentioned, all of these options are available under the Acrobat DC version, but there's some differences between the standard and the pro. So with regards to standard, it's only supported on the Windows platform, and on Pro it's Windows and Mac. So the prices below are sort of retail prices, and we can work on those prices if you have extra users. But the subscription version is around £114 per user per year for the standard option, and around £133 on the subscription option. Acrobat is still available on perpetual licensing, and you can see the pricing is just there below. So there's differences between subscription and perpetual in terms of the payment options and also how Acrobat's deployed. So if you are in a serialized deployment, or you need to deploy this via virtualization on Citrix, then subscription is not ideal for you. You need to be on the perpetual licensing. Actually, I've got those headings around the wrong way, but yeah, those, if you do need a serialized deployment and offline authentication, then you need to be on a perpetual license. If you can access the internet and it's going to be installed on the local device, then you can opt for the subscription option. So subscription offers you named ID deployment, and you can see exactly where your licenses are and who has them. What it also offers your users is working from any device. So as Steve showed, you can work from iPhones, iPads, and normal hardware. And what you can utilize on that is the e-sign signature. So if you can operate on a named ID deployment, then subscription may be the best solution for you. So recently, if anyone's on the Creative Cloud, or any of your users have Creative Cloud, then the 2015 version was released in June this year. This offers substantial updates to all of the products. So that update is available to you. If you haven't made the move to Creative Cloud on your users, then please do let us know and we can help you in that transition. What also came with the Creative Cloud release in June is a new product, or a new offering called Adobe Stock. So Adobe Stock is a portfolio of 4 million pictures that your designers can use. So a bit like the other stock offerings that are available on the web, Adobe allows you to use their pictures that they've licensed, and you can use them for your projects going forward. What Adobe have allowed you to do is actually integrate that with the Photoshop, the InDesign, so you can pull the pictures straight from the actual applications rather than going into the web and downloading them yourselves. They can be bundled in with Creative Cloud as a cost. So if you are interested, then please do let us know. There'll be mail shots going out about how you can actually access this, but give us a shout and we can advise you on how to license those stock pictures. Okay, I think we're going to move to questions and answers. So I'm just going to open the questions pod now. Hi, Steve, you there? Steve?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, cool. So I'm just going to read through these questions. If I just read them out, the majority seem to be for you. So the first question is from Rob, is asking, can we add OneDrive Pro and SharePoint as a storage location automatically, for example, via group policy?
Yes, that is configurable.
Okay, Rob's also got another question following off of that. Can we disable storage locations, e.g. the document cloud, so users can only save to approved locations? I mean, I can answer a bit of that.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah, so that can be you can disable the storage for Document Cloud, depending on what agreement you're on. There's certain ways of doing that, but yeah, you can disable the storage completely. And if you deploy via perpetual licensing, it's offline anyway.
Disabled by default.
Yeah.
The other thing is with the customization wizard for Acrobat, it also allows you granular control over which services you allow people to have access to. So if you don't want them to use the e-sign service, for example, you can turn that off prior to deployment and deploy without that particular capability. So there's a lot of functionality that can be pre-configured or deconfigured inside the customization wizard to pre-customize, if you like, the deployment for the users.
Hopefully that might answer your last question, Rob, but Rob's asked again, can we pre-deploy the e-sign-in add-in? We block access to the MS store.
I'm not sure is the honest answer on that one. To be perfectly frank, I only found it myself this morning, but no, I'm not sure about that. I don't know is the honest answer. I suspect it might be possible.
Okay, what we'll do, Rob, is take that question away and then follow up in an email. Got a question from Craig. Does it only integrate with IE, or can you use Chrome or Safari in the same way?
You can indeed use Chrome and Safari in the same way, although I think Google are changing the format for their plugin technologies going forward, which might pose a few challenges in the short term. But yeah, definitely you can use the Adobe viewing technology inside your other browsers, and definitely got it working perfectly on I'll get there when my brain catches up, the Netscape one. But yeah, so it does work with other browsers besides Internet Explorer, and of course, yeah.
Cool. Question from Malcolm. Is there a limit to the number of devices a user can use the software on based on your licensing, your user licensing? So if you're on a subscription-based model, then each user gets up to 2 authentications. So if they do try to use a third device, then Adobe will prompt that user to log out of another device. That only is for sort of the desktop machines. If you're using the iPhone, it's just a free app, and that doesn't need to be licensed. But if you're using 2-3 machines, you can use 2 machines not at the same time. But when you log out, when you log into a third, it will prompt you to log out of one of the others, and you can do that from the third machine. Question from Craig. Is DC available through my Creative Cloud subscription? Yes, it is indeed. So if you have the full suite of Creative Cloud, you will have access to Acrobat Pro DC. So that's available for you to upgrade or download as you wish. If you do want to purchase, if you just have a single app, you can just purchase DC via that same subscription. Question for Jason. Can the Adobe ID login and the cloud be hidden as disabled? Might be over to you, Steve.
Yeah, no, there's not a possibility for doing that. You either sign in or deploy the software serialized. That's basically it. You have to be able to sign into it. It can't be hidden. But what can be done is, from an enterprise customer's perspective, they can integrate with their own ID system, so that their users sign in using their own single sign-on, for example, and the authentication on that user's behalf is then taken care of by the organization's own identity provider system to transact that call to Adobe. So the user would just sign in using, as we do at Adobe, an enterprise sign-in to Creative Cloud, and then that transaction is taken on their behalf.
Yeah, and just on that,
ID.
And just on that, if you do have a substantial amount of enterprise users for Acrobat or Creative, then please do speak to us, because there are additional benefits to signing into an enterprise agreement with regards to authentication deployment, as Steve mentioned, logging in with single sign-on instead of users having access to IDs. So if you do have that, then please do let us know and we can help you there. Lucas has asked, when does Adobe plan to deploy AdMix files with the first SP1 coming soon?
Sorry, I missed that. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. When does Adobe plan to deploy AdMix files, ADMX, with the first SP1 coming soon?
I don't know if the honest answer on that one.
Okay.
Can you capture that one, Luke? And
yeah, we'll
get back to that one.
No problem. Jason's asked, with Perpetual, will the software not ask for an ID? No, it won't.
That's correct. Yeah.
So it's just a serialized deployment, how you're used to before. None of the service comes with DC products. It's just the product itself.
Mm-hmm.
Question from David: does this service support third-party Office 365 applications, box storage rather than OneDrive?
Right. Okay. You might have noticed actually on that screen that I briefly showed that there was only the OneDrive / SharePoint integration so far. We are working on additional connectors that will be released in the future for other things like Box, Dropbox, Copy, etc. So that is definitely coming. So watch this space though at this stage.
Okay. And another question from David: in terms of multiple browser support, is there a function partly between Mac and PC?
Functional parity, would that be?
Yeah.
And the answer to that is actually no. You can use the reader to view PDF, but you don't get the integrations with the browser like you do on the Windows platform. So like the applications, the ribbon bar, and so on and so forth isn't available, unfortunately, to our Mac customer base.
Okay. So Craig has asked, what are the upgrade paths from previous versions? So it's the normal rule on perpetual licensing. So it's 2 versions back. So you can upgrade from version 10. Anything version 9 or below would need to be purchased as new. On subscription, there is no real upgrade path, but there's migration discount to enter into a subscription model. And those are the prices that I displayed further in my my slides. But give us a shout and we can talk further into your actual requirements. Jason has asked, could someone please contact us via email to discuss perpetual options and non-cloud use? Yep, not a problem, Jason. We'll be in touch after this webinar. That's the end of the questions, unless anyone else is typing away at the moment and has got any more. We'll leave it running for an extra minute or so. But otherwise, this webinar, the recording of the webinar, will be sent out to everyone after, so you can review the actual slides and also the questions and answers. Also, there's just after the webinar, there'll be a feedback form. If you could just fill that out, it helps us improve our webinars going forward. And if you do want to call back, then yeah, just let us know. We've got a few questions to answer, so we'll follow up with those guys. But if you do want to call following this, then just let us know on the feedback form. Brilliant. So there's no more questions coming in. Thanks for your time. Yeah, speak to you soon.
Thanks, everyone.